Welcome. Today's lesson that I am learning is making space. Making space for the life and the things that you want. And this has a very real world application that we can all understand and relate to. If there is something in a space, a chair in the corner of a room, you can't fit another chair there. You can't fit another piece of furniture. Maybe you don't even like that chair and you want a bar cart so you can serve fancy cocktails to your friends. Well, if there's no space in your apartment, you can't fit that bar cart anywhere. That same concept applies to literally every other aspect of life. And this is what I'm learning. I need to make space. And like part of my journey right now is making space for my life that I want to lead. And I just had this great conversation with my friend about like how right now I'm making space for new relationships to come into my life, and like that for new relationships to come in, new friendships where I feel validated, where I feel that I'm being poured into as much as I'm pouring into them, I have to let go of my old relationships. And like from the most basic, understanding of how our brains work, we can see how this plays out, right? So if we're conditioned for, one set of circumstances that we've been living in, like, our neural pathway is formed. And if we, keep along that line of thinking, that neural pathway fires and fires and fires, and that's what your brain is used to. But like, let's say it's this pathway of, I'm not talented. If we're talking about self-worth and self-improvement. If you have that pathway, to break out of that and to then move into a new timeline where you do feel capable, where you do feel talented, you have to then like form that new neural pathway. And to me, the analogy of like a forest works very well. You have this very well-trodden path that your brain has been going down, that you've been walking down, and that path is named I'm not talented. And, it's easy, it's there, it's what you're used to. So you start that journey, you want to go on that same path. And so how do you move away from that? You have to make space for the new path. Literally like beating down the branches of your brain, right, is that neural pathway. It's overgrown. The forest is taken over. There's vines, there's all this stuff. And you have to get with your machete and hack that new path, which is I am talented. I have talents. I have things to give people. I have good qualities. You got to hack it down. You got to make space for that new neural pathway to fire. And so then you can then walk on that path. And every time you walk on that path, right, the foliage opens. The path becomes more clear. There is space for you to walk down it, right? That neural pathway fires. And it's crazy how like that applies to everything. If you are in a job you don't like and you want to be an artist, make space for that. Start, building time into your schedule to work on it so that it can come in. If you, have a bunch of belongings from your old life, from a period of your life where you felt powerless, or you felt, that you were dealing with emotional issues or physical issues, or, codependency or toxic relationships. If you keep those things around you that remind you of that time period of your life, you're going to be stuck in that mindset. So you have to make space for this new mindset to come in. And that may mean getting rid of things that remind you of it. And getting rid of the things, and this is like physical items, but also ideas that limit you to that pathway. So think about your dream life. What do you want? If there were no limits, what life would you lead? Okay. And then make space for it. And it can be little things. Getting rid of that chair. If that chair isn't in your dream life, get rid of it. There's always going to be chairs. There's always going to be new opportunities. And like this really intersects with spirituality, because when there is something in your life, like there's no space for the universe to work its magic, for the manifestation to work, because it's filled. You literally don't have space for it. So it's not going to come in. You have to make that space. And especially I'm realizing like with myself, with what I give to, what I pour myself into, if I give myself to relationships that don't serve me or I'm not getting poured into back, then, those relationship spots are like taken, especially as an autistic person. Like, I don't have a wide range of like social battery. I can only maintain a few very close relationships. And I'm realizing that while I've done a lot of work on stepping away from relationships that don't serve me, I'm still kind of pouring into them. And that, like, I'm still texting them every day and I'm not getting back much input, much effort. So that I need to, because I want friends that actually care about me and that pour into me. Why am I still pouring into them? I need to make space for new people to come in. I need to stop texting them every day and instead, pour into myself and maybe text new people that I'm meeting, and so that those friendships can grow. Sorry, I just heard an alarm. Confirmation. So whatever thing that you're trying to manifest, whatever change that you're making in your life, the first step is making space for it. And that's letting go of the thing that you no longer want. And I feel like this is especially important or poignant right now because where I am now in 2026, it's the end of the year of the snake up until the spring equinox, right? We're still in the year of the snake. And so it's the tail end. And so I feel so much like vital energy and creativity and like just raw energy coming in with the new year. But I'm realizing like this is the time, this is the time for me to make space for this new life, for this new energy that I'm coming into, that is entering my life. And so that I'm like very much so dying to that old version of myself. And I felt really weird like coming into the new year because I had so much like vitality around the new year. And then once I was like settled and it was like, the first week of January, I was really tired and I was like being called to just sleep a lot and like watch my comfort movies from when I was a kid. And I've been like, this is really weird because I know that I'm stepping into this new part of my life where I am a creative, where I'm an artist, where I'm working for myself, where I'm unashamedly me. And it was weird that I was like experiencing this kind of lag or like this low energy and like reflecting and like wanting to, be very, very comforting and like resting. And I realized it's because this old me is dying. And I'm grieving it. And I've been feeling very emotional. Like I've been crying a lot. Things have been triggering me to cry. And which is very unusual to me because I don't really cry very, very much, especially by like simple things. And so I've been crying a lot. I'm like, what is this? And it's because I'm grieving this old part of my life. And the old me is leaving to make space for this new me that is coming in, that I'm embodying. And that's just been this huge lesson. So if you are struggling with something, like you're manifesting something that's not coming in, or you're like, how do I make my pure life? The first thing you have to do is make space for it. And it does come naturally. Like, once you make that decision to dismantle, to get rid of things, it will come naturally. And I feel like a good starting point is like physically in, in this material universe, getting rid of the things that no longer resonate with you. And for me, like a big part of that is like, I'm scared to let go of things because I'm like, well, what if I don't get anything else? Or I spent so much money on this and I'm not getting my money back. And it's like, feels like a waste to give it up. But the thing is that the universe will always bring it back. Like there is no scarcity. And it is rooted in that scarcity mindset and that poverty mindset that I inherited from my parents, who inherited it from my grandparents, that I've been unlearning. And that there's always enough. There's always enough. And I need to make space. And it can be kind of scary being in that void space where there's not something filling it, but it also can feel really good. And it makes room. And like, I'm realizing that in this void space, once I get rid of, the things that aren't serving me, that don't resonate with my new life, I get more inspiration. It's like within the stillness, within the void, it creates the environment for sparks of inspiration, for inspired action. Suddenly getting rid of a bag of clothes that no longer resonate with me, that were from a time period when I was severely depressed, severely anxious, that I was holding on to because I was like, I need to sell these to make my money back. I got rid of it. I just donated it. And suddenly I feel so much freer. There are new inspirations that are coming to me about art projects and my business and maybe new clothes that I want to buy. And like just physically, I feel lighter. So it's crazy. So this is the lesson I'm learning. Making space is how you invite the new things in. So yeah. And like that also has to deal with like trauma and unlearning patterns, right? So much of my work that led to my enlightenment was getting rid of these internalized thoughts that had been ingrained in me. And once I got rid of them, then I had my enlightenment, and then I was like, oh shit, I can be whatever I want. It was the space that allowed me to really come back to my soul, come back to my inner child, come back to the I am that is within everything, that, you know, allowed me to now become this fluid person where I know that I can step in and out of roles. I don't have to be one thing. I can be whatever I want to be in the moment, you know? So that's the lesson. Give yourself space. Make space for yourself. If something doesn't feel good, don't do it. Stop pouring into it so that you can have new good things coming in. Because that also has to do with like manifestation. Like we get stuck in spirals. We get stuck in this like, this is how it always is. And once you get rid of it, then it opens up your eyes. It opens up the space. It opens up your soul. Like, well, I thought that one thing was what I needed and I, wouldn't be okay without it, but I got rid of it and here I am. I'm still here. I got rid of that identity and hey, I'm still here. So I must be more than that identity. I must be more than those things that I was attaching myself to. I must be beyond the needs of material things. I'm more and you are more. And that's the cool thing. So make space for it. That's the message. Whatever you want, make space for it now. Whatever you have in mind, whatever this video made you think about that you want in your life, make space for it. I love you. I hope this resonated or helped you in some way. Come back to my channel for more spiritual issues, my own self-discovery, my own journey as an artist, and stepping into my life as being a creative, something that I've always wanted since I was a kid, but I was convinced out of because I thought it was impossible, because I thought it wasn't an actual reality that I could step into, but I'm realizing it is. So I love you so much. Bye.